Alright guys, I wanted to make this other form of demo or of using ink, but this is going to be using a Sharpie marker. So the purpose of this is to consider if you want to make a still life and you want to try other mediums than charcoal, things that blur that you can manipulate by using the blender to get the value scale. You can use this other method also. Um, it's up to you, you know, if it's something that you want to use in the future, but I wanted to introduce it to you guys so that you can have it, so you can consider it. So here I have this paper. I'm going to do it just on paper only because I couldn't find my sketchbook, the little one. I have the big one, but for this one I want you to do it in your sketchbook because it takes a lot of time. So what we're going to do is we're going to make this still life, but we're going to be using a marker. Okay, so how can we make value scale with the marker? We can't we can't smear it off like we can charcoal. So the way we do it is by making dots, a population. This is called stippling. So the more cluster of dots together, the darker it gets. Okay, so like right now I'm making like this. Maybe I'm trying to make like a number 9, and then as I get further out, I separate my dots more, the population, and I get further out, and as you guys can see, it starts to make that appearance of it creating the value scale from dark to light. I mean, it's not the best, but it'll do for this demo, you know. But so we're gonna do this quick still life. It's gonna be a cup. So use a pencil. You can use a pencil and an eraser for this. Okay. So right now I'm gonna outline my still life. It's gonna be a cup. So let's just make a quick outline. Okay. As you can see there. The ear. Okay. So there's my outline of a cup. Okay. So now, I don't know if you guys can see that. It's pretty light. But now I'm going to take my marker and I am going to just copy it. Now the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make my number 10 marks right off the bat. Okay, where I see where it's dark. I'm not going to color it in. I'm just making them, okay? I'm going over my pencil mark. Alright. Okay. You guys see that? Let's see if I can get closer. That's about the closest I'm going to be able to get. Okay. So now, I'm just going to start putting value on this this contour here. And we're just going to do it with stippling. Okay. So I'm going to... This one you're going to work from 10, you know, from the darkest to light like we normally do. Not like the ink where we work from 0 to 10. We're going to work from 10 to 1 or 0. The best we can, you know. So let's see. I'm just going to work on the out part. I know that this is dark. Again, this is called stippling, and it's just made by the number of dots you have together. It's not making line, it's making value with dots. The population of dots that are together So the more spread out the dots, the lighter it's gonna give the impression of. Okay. Feel like a woodpecker. Now I'm starting to see this over here where it is a little lighter. So my mark is starting, or my dots are becoming separated. I see more of a darker here. So they're going to get closer together. Okay. And with the stippling, you go back and forth, back and forth. After you like get to an area where you want to look at it from a distance, see my dots are starting to become further out because it's getting lighter, but I see a little bit more of a shadow here. So I'm going to try to put it here. But like I was saying, when you get to a point where you want to step away from it, then you can look to see where it needs to be darker. Like I know that the bottom of this is going to be dark. Now avoid making mark like this. That's not what we're doing. We're trying to make the value scale by the use of dots. Stippling. That's the exercise. That's the technique. Okay, so now we're going to make the other part here, which I see it here, which is already dark. It is down here. Now I see my pencil line. That's why I know where to stay within. And I see a little white mark, or not mark, but a white line. I'll try to stay within that line by not drawing in it. Okay. Now this other side over here on the negative space, there needs to be some tone there, so I am going to work around it by making it dark on the outside, and it can get tricky. The problem happens is when you start making the values pretty close together where they get lost in the stipple. So I'm being aware of that, so I'm just making them out, you know, so that I can consider the negative space. Alright, now let me do the handle. See a line there. Okay. Now when it comes to the white, then do not outline it, okay, but rather, you know, start working the negative space. You see? Around it. I see some areas that need more darkness in the negative space so that I can shape out like the handle. But if I put too much of the population of dots, but then this is going to get lost with this part right here. Okay. Now there is shadow there. Okay. So what you could do is make the shadow with the pencil just to outline it. I see it there. And then, okay, you can take a bigger marker, and I'm just gonna make a bold mark there, okay, just like this. And I'm just gonna color the whole thing, just for the shadow. Just to make it a complete number 10. There's some people who can really make wonders with stippling. So again, it's up to you. But I wanted to introduce you to it. You can see that. See? There it is right there. A quick, simple little drawing by the use of dots. Let's see if I can get it closer to the camera. I'll take a picture of it and send it to you guys. But there's my still life right there. I made it very simple, real quick, so that you guys can see it. And I'll send out the assignment with this one in place of the ink one. But hopefully you guys can get something out of this. And this is called stippling.